Yeah, kid! Welcome back to another episode of the Handsome Homebuyer Podcast, the digital version. My name is Charles, a.k.a. the Handsome Homebuyer, a.k.a. Captain Permit. Yo, Levy, get ready! A.k.a. Fuck it. You know the drill. El Judío, Maravilloso. And we have a Maravilloso episode for you guys today. But before we get into that, we got to plug the man. You know what I'm talking about. This guy in the permit world, Captain Permit, 516-513-8838. If you need plans, you need permits. If you need anything permit related, tip to tip, coast to coast. And by that, I mean Montauk to the Queens, Nassau border. We got you. Legalizations, interior alterations, new construction, commercial, decks, sheds, awnings. You get the point. We're here. We got the best looking crew. 5 people taking it down. There they are right there. Getting it done, already done, like my man Walter Green, 516-513-8838. And obviously, if you have a house that smells like cat pee, dated from the 1960s, 6 inches of mold on the wall, houses you're going to knock down and 3D print a freaking house, you know I'm your boy, the Handsome Home Buyer. I'm quick. I'm easy. Lord knows I'm a good time. I might have dropped the ball and said some inappropriate stuff before I realized we were going live, but I want to buy it. 516-777 sold. All right, so we got a banger of a guest today. Banger. These guys, I love these guys, man. Long Island is the greatest place in the world. When you're younger, you don't appreciate it. You're like, I want to get the hell out of here. And then you leave and you come back and you realize that Long Island is awesome for many different reasons. You got the city, the beach, you got the best of everything. But the most important thing is now we're a tech hub, people. We are a tech hub for the most revolutionary movement in housing that this country or this world, I will say this world, fuck the country, maybe even the universe. I don't even think aliens on Mars are doing the kind of shit that we're about to talk about in a few minutes. We got my man, Kirk Anderson from SQ4D, 3D printing the world. Bam!
What's up, Charles?
Good to see you, man.
Good afternoon. How are you, man?
How does it feel to be on the cutting edge of housing, tall, lean, handsome, great head of hair?
I was on a podcast I did yesterday. I was called the coolest guy in construction.
The coolest guy in construction. That's not bad. I feel like that.
I'll take it.
I feel like we need something with a little more hype. I'm kind of a hype man, if you haven't noticed.
I think I got that.
And I think somebody on your level deserves a little something more than the coolest guy in construction. I'll think about it and we'll get back to you.
Get back to me.
But yo, let's talk 3D printing, man. You
Some
guys,
revolutionary shit.
bro, you're changing the world. You're like the Wright brothers meets Bill Gates.
Hey, man, the technology's been around for a while, but nobody's done it like us. We're just doing it. We're just a couple guys doing it. Like, that's what you have to do is just gear up and do it. Doesn't mean we know what we're doing. Doesn't mean it's going to be perfect, but we'll get there. We're going to optimize this. You're seeing the very beginning of it, but it's here. It's here to stay. Let's 3D print as many homes as we can. Get more machines out there. Show the world. Educate them what we're doing here.
So just to digress for everybody who doesn't know, 3D printing. SQ4D was recently featured on News 12, CNN, MSNBC, Fox Business, Newsday, New York Post, CNBC, Fox, ABC. I mean, the list is long, distinguished. We take up 45 minutes just talking about it, but they have literally gone global because they were just awarded the first, and I mean the first permit to build the first legally printed 3D printed house in the country. Kirk, can I get an amen?
Amen, brother.
So let's take it back. I want to hear a little bit of the backstory because the backstory to me is the coolest thing ever about how you guys were formed, the technology, how you joined up with the company, and what you guys have been doing, grinding in the shadows for the last 4 years.
Right? All right. So we're going against the man here, the bureaucracy of building codes and the municipalities that don't want us to do this. They don't want to see new technology. But started with a nice multifamily home on North Ocean Avenue in Patchogue. We were covering the house with cedar shake vinyl siding. Beautiful siding. Normal house. It's a multi-$1,000 square foot house. Let's get this job done. Get some people living in it. But no. The village of Patchogue wants it covered in cedar shake, real cedar. So that turns a $12,000, $15,000 siding job to a $40,000, maybe $50,000 job. So we said no, But no, we have to abide by their rules. But instead, we decided let's build a robot. You're going to talk to the robot. The robot's going to do what you want, and there's no middleman. There's no bullshit. You get what you want. You get what you ask for. So Enzo Pagani started with the idea of pulling 2x4s out of a backpack and nail guns, robots, doing all this craziness. And that's one of my favorite parts of the story. But then we linked up with some guys who know 3D printing. I know 3D printing. We all linked together and said, let's build a concrete printer that's 40 feet wide, 50 feet long, 20 feet high, spit out concrete, and we can build some homes. And you tell the robot what to do. It puts the concrete there. It builds the walls, and we get out of the way, and then there's the house. So it starts as a novel idea, a novelty, but it's been around for years. So we just started immediately going and developing a small scale printer to just get some concrete out, to stack some walls, to show that we can do this. And immediately after we got that done, we felt accomplished, jump onto the large scale printer, which is one of the largest printers in the world right now. And this can print full size houses anywhere from 500 square feet to 3,000 square feet. We extrude concrete layer by layer, and we build walls as houses. Right now it's 40% of that build. And we're going to do more and more and more. This is very early in the stages, but we're excited. We're doing it. We're showing people this is here to stay. This is going to be revolutionary. It's going to change how we look at housing, how we buy houses. It's going to change architects, engineers, every aspect of housing, which is one of the biggest industries in the world. Guess what? We're changing it.
So just so people understand, and then the construction industry, from a tech standpoint, from a building standpoint, is ancient. Hasn't changed in decades, literally decades. And it was crying and begging for this. Obviously, anybody that's in the building space, whether you've bought a house, built a house, doing renovations to your house, in the past year or 2 years, the cost to construct is absolutely bananas. Everything's expensive. A 2x4 is like $9 now. It's very, 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 very difficult. And then obviously, necessity being the mother of all invention, when you piss, like you can only push a group of people or a person so far. Right. So when you piss a group of people off or push them so far, like we deal with the municipalities and the building departments every day, you got my man Enzo Pagani over there who's like, F it. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to build a robot, and the robot's going to build a house. And then everyone's obviously familiar with 3D printing, been around for a long time. But I think it's cool that you grazed over it. But so people understand, this is a process. Like you guys had an idea, and then you started with a smaller version. And I want to kind of talk about, because I think it's interesting, how you guys took this little 3D printer that prints like phone cases and shit like that and turned it into something that builds houses. Like when I tell people about this concept, they're like, what are you talking about? Like it's so outside of people's reality that they can't even get it.
So kids growing up today, their 3D printers are in their schools and their libraries, and it's normal to them. Maybe the real estate agents today don't know what 3D printing is, 3D printing a house. But I have with me a sample of the house that I'll be printing. This is the exact floor plan. So this has all the windows, doors opening, and this was done on a small plastic 3D printer. It is the same idea, it is the same concept, just scale this up. So we just built a larger machine. It uses a little more intense code and a little more AI and some background logic, but it's the same concept as small plastic desktop 3D printers, just scaled up.
Keep going. I'm echoing, but I'm going to figure it out.
I got you. So you could print this in a night and wake up, and this is done in your plastic printer. Same thing could be done with some concrete, layer by layer, stack it up, and we get some walls. Instead of laying bricks on top of bricks, blocks on top of blocks, we extrude concrete, and this just stacks up. It's the same way as we do the plastic stuff, just concrete. So there's a little more that goes into that, some special sauce with the concrete. But this is full scale, large houses, like full houses. It's exciting to watch a small plastic 3D printer go. It's even more exciting to see some walls just being built around you out of nowhere. So the same idea of the small plastic 3D printers, you have a roll of material or pellets of material. The machine, the computer knows how much material you need to extrude to build that 3D object. We can do the same thing with concrete and houses and know exactly how much material we need on the job site, minimizing waste like never seen before. Instead of subtractive manufacturing where we're cutting things and removing to make an object, we're adding layer by layer, and I can know how much is in that layer, how many layers are in the house, how many bags of concrete, how much sand I need. This is going to change job sites and how it's engineered.
So just so a couple different points. People always, I like to keep it real on the Handsome Home Buyer podcast. So people always look at someone in your position successful. You guys are basically about to take over the world, but they don't see the struggle of what you guys went through over the last 4 years. Talk about just some of the setbacks and some of the like, oh shit moments that, led up to this ultimate success.
So it's going back to that, it's a quarter scale machine. We got some concrete through it. We had to buy multiple pumps, try multiple mixes. We developed a machine from scratch in 2017. We had to just build this and design it as best as we could at the time, and then you'll learn some more things that you can add or subtract from your machine to keep the strength of the machine, but also give you the reliability and accuracy that you're looking for in 3D printing. But since 2017, it's just been countless nights, late nights, either building the machine, throwing down some welds to get us to motion of the large machine, or just mix after hose clog after hose clog, weather conditions. I mean, we've had motors blowing out, breaking welds. We've done everything. We've developed this from 0 to 100 where we're at right now. We've had a really good team of guys that just are resilient on the job site, don't take no for an answer, and our favorite slogan, do whatever it takes. To go to the next level, do whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
This is a startup, this is a family. We're all here for each other, and we're just trying to push each other to the next level to accomplish this one goal. One team, one goal.
I love it, man. It's freaking awesome, and it's so awesome to watch it. So let's talk about the technology. There's other people out there that are trying to do what you do. I've researched this pretty extensively, but you guys are very different. I believe you guys have a superior product. I believe you offer a wide variety of things that other people can't. Just talk about the technology a little bit, and then ultimately, how it works. I think people always hit me up and they DM me and they're like, how does concrete come out of this nozzle? How does this nozzle swivel and make right turn, hard turns? How does it work?
Sure. So, like I said, same thing as the plastic 3D printers. We're pushing through concrete. It's just delivering material. Our machine is just a material delivery system. Yep. I can put geopolymers. I could do plastics, but we're doing concrete. So I mix concrete on demand using a volumetric mixer. I tell it how much sand, how much water, how much Portland mix I want in that, any other additives, and how the output of that, the volume output of that. I control that on site, which is great because there's so many variables, environmental, geographic, just a bunch of variables that we have to consider. But dump that into a pump. That pump goes through a nice system of hoses through our machine, and our machine is instructed by G-code to go to a certain area following a floor plan to extrude concrete layer by layer. I'm sure I could show you some animations and people could get a little more educated on 3D printing as a whole, but it's just like icing a cake, just going around, doing one layer, going back to the beginning, going up, and doing it all over again. It's actually very basic understanding, but the control of the material is where it's been complex. And we're definitely not the only ones. This is happening worldwide, which is great. The industry is expanding, it's growing. There's initiatives in Dubai and around the world to go for 3D printing buildings on a mass scale. Maybe 20%, 30% of their buildings in the future will be 3D printed. And we can obviously control the material. We can eventually go carbon neutral, carbon negative with some of these materials and make job sites safer and more efficient. But there's different machines to design. There's different ways you can design a machine to 3D print. And there's gantries, there's robotic arms, we are trying to make it make sense for a job site. We know how construction job sites are. We know the guys on the site. We know how this machine needs to be rugged enough for the everyday guy to just do this. You might have a guy that's a little more smarter than everyone else. He's the operator. He controls the machine. But you can have your grunts around you feeding this thing concrete and making sure that you're just stacking these layers and going up. So we want to show up on a job site, set up the machine in a couple hours, start printing, finish the day off, come back, do that in the next couple days, over a week, get out, so that the rest of the trades can come in.
So just so people understand, how long does it take you to print a house, and exactly what part of the house are you guys printing?
So the length on job site is dependent on the square footage and how much we're printing. We're going to do footings, foundation slab, interior and exterior walls out of concrete. And that's all customizable. It doesn't have to be that. It can be just exterior. It can be whatever curves, arcs, domes. We're not limited. There is some customization here. But that can be done over a period of 40 to 50 hours. An entire concrete structure, which is about, from the footings up, it's about 40%, maybe 42% of a build. But it all depends on the square footage. But we can get this, we can do the printing in under 2 days in hours. But a couple calendar days, you can have a structure like this, full size, made out of concrete, that will be resilient to all weather types, be perfect and affordable on Long Island.
So labor, huge problem, right? Not to pick political here, but when the government's giving away money for free, nobody wants to work. I myself need to hire like 6, 8, 10 people. I can't find them. What kind of labor does it take to 3D print a house?
Yeah, it's hard to find skilled labor. It's hard to find good skilled labor. It's hard to find cheap good skilled labor. Those don't exist. But we need an engineer, or basically an operator, a field technician to run the machine. He's going to be educated and trained on how this works. If he's completely clueless, that's fine, and maybe take you a couple weeks to learn how to operate the machine with the proper training. But then you just need some grunts to fill the volumetric mixer and to make sure your mix is coming through. Eventually, that can be automated. There'll be vacuum sealed silos of the Portland coming in and the sand delivery. Eventually, you can get this down to one guy just watching material delivery and printing. But this can be, we've literally done this with 3 guys. 3 guys building a 1,900 square foot structure with this robot.
Yeah, as opposed to bringing in a foundation crew, a framing crew, and we're talking about dozens of people over the same amount of time. You guys can do it with 3 people in a fraction of the time. Let's talk about the cost savings and then the quality of the product versus a stick built product.
Let's do it. So we all know labor is usually 50% of a build, probably a little bit more. But we're going to limit those numbers. We're going to replace the dangerous laborious jobs with smarter, higher paying jobs. And of course, to build these machines, we need fabricators and shops to build that. But to have just a couple guys on site, your costs are way down on labor. Obviously, your workers' compensation costs are down. These job sites are safer, so you don't have as many claims, no many injuries, not as many fatalities. We're doing 40% of the house with 1 to 3 guys. That's unheard of. That's unseen. And we're putting out concrete, which is everywhere in Florida and Europe. It's not normal on Long Island, but it's a superior build than a stick build. This is going to last far longer than a wood framed house. It's not going to mold. It's going to be pretty much fire resistant. We're building a resilient product for faster, cheaper, and safer. Like, you don't get those qualities in a lot of things in life, let alone building houses.
And the craziest part is, so like, if you buy a stick built home, obviously there's there's fire, there's the water, there's the termite damage, and at the best you're going to get a 1-year warranty. What kind of warranty are you guys giving on these?
On this first build, we're offering a 50-year warranty. Well, that's on the concrete structure. I think that's pretty attractive.
That's bananas.
Especially on the first of its kind. But this is a piece of history. We want to make sure they're happy with this. But I mean, it's concrete at the end of the day. It's a cheap abundant material. And if there's any cracks or shifts, there's epoxies that are stronger than the material, and it doesn't take much to repair that. It's concrete. People need to understand it's just concrete. It's a different way of making a concrete block on site.
Okay. So, and I got some questions, and obviously anybody who's watching this out there, if you have any questions, obviously put it in the chat. I'll get to those. I see a bunch of them popping up, some technical stuff I'm going to ask you later if that's cool. But let's get into, like, outside of the concrete structure itself. I'm getting a lot of questions through my YouTube videos, DMs, people seeing what you guys are doing. Just link through me on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn. The biggest thing is insulation, plumbing, electric, and how it comes together.
Okay, so the way we print is pretty much just like this. That's how wide the bead is. So I do one of these here, and a couple inches over, I do another one. So that leaves voids within the walls for all your insulation, which is closed cell foam. We're going to use an aminoplast foam. It has high R values for every inch, and then within those same walls and voids that you can put your plumbing and your electric. We're going from underneath with the electric, and plumbing's coming from above. We're trying to streamline that for the trades to come in and just make it easier for them. Have these walls ready for them to start using the openings for their plumbing supplies, for their waste lines, vent lines, and the same thing for the electricians. I'm giving them a form to lay out their electrical conduit, and then I'm 3D printing on top of that. And it's set, forget, they're done. Come back in when it's all dry, run your wires with a snake. We're trying to treat this as no differently as any other house. Just trying to streamline it so they're in there quicker, less time on job.
So Scott has a question in regards to this. So I don't entirely understand this, but I think you do. I'm going to lay that. It says, Kirk, what are the thermal properties of a 3D printed house? Will the concrete transfer the outside temperature to the inside wall and room? Question mark. Blower door test question mark. ACH50 rating question mark.
I don't know about the rating per se. I could probably get back to you on that. Our thermal envelope is meeting code, exceeding code in certain areas. We're doing our best to make this a fully sealed structure. And for our ROs, our door openings, our window openings, I can get it to the 16th of an inch, to the 32nd of an inch, and we can make these nice tight openings for that. The R values, I mean, these plans are from H2M. Whatever they ask of us, I'm going to meet that. I might not be as most educated on the thermal properties of the house, but with our concrete walls, we're making sure that there are no passive connections between the concrete because it doesn't have a great R value. So keeping these voids completely opening, using the right rebar, and then filling these voids completely with insulation, we're able to achieve, I think, an R39.
Okay. And I know that you guys also have a radiant heat option as well.
That's going to make it very efficient.
So I want to get into
that can echo from the slab up the walls. That will actually, it will maintain a good temperature no matter what.
So let's round off the build. So we have the insulation, we have the plumbing, we have the electric. Talk about the roof system, structure, all the finishing work, what's available, what are the options.
So right now we're just using a wood truss system, pre-engineered. They got our plans. This thing's going to get shipped to us, and it's going to get set up in 2 days. They throw some sheathing, some shingles, do it. It's a normal roof job. And the truss, the beauty of the truss is that this is a box going on top of a concrete box. It's all tied together. It's all strong. We have the proper J bolts on every 32 on center to keep your top plate down, and the proper rebar going tied into the slab. This is a strong structure. I would love to show everyone I could the model home just to show them that this is better than what we're used to.
Yeah, and everybody out there, you guys are going to have the opportunity to see this build. Obviously, they're going to be doing the build in Riverhead very soon. We're going to be working together to be doing a build in Islandia. We're going to be live streaming both, so people actually get to see what's going on in real time, how it's working. We're going to document it. Very, very cool. So as far as the customizable, the way you can customize it, the interior, the exterior, I want people to understand that you can do anything you can do with the house, if not better and more unique, because I don't know if people have seen, but the way the bead pattern is laying right on top of each other, I think is very, very cool. You can leave it like that. I know that you have the ability to put any kind of flooring in. You can put sheetrock up if you want with furring strips. Talk about that, and then talk about the virtual reality setup you guys have and what the future holds with customizing houses for people. This is crazy.
All very exciting. The customization is there. So we're used to living in square boxes, but I can put a curved wall wherever I want, and that's just the beginning. This is just some little aesthetics, but I can make an entire round house within this footprint. Customization is endless. It's whatever you want it to be. But these curved walls don't cost me any more than a straight wall. I'm laying a ribbon of concrete, and this is going around however I want it to. It's so cool to me that I can just completely customize a floor plan if the building department allows. But you can finish this off traditionally as normal. I mean, we can put base trim, crown trim, we put drywall on the ceiling, but if it's in your budget, cover the entire house in drywall if you want. If not, we can leave the lines, which is artistic and unique characteristics of 3D printing that we're not even used to. You're not seeing this everywhere. But as you can see, there is some cool quality to this, and it can get better. It could get smoothed out. It could get stamped. It could have a wood grain impression on it. There are patent pending pieces to our puzzle that will heed some cool results, some customization results. But what was the second part of your question?
Talk about the virtual reality setup, because I've never done anything VR. Like I've never had those goggles on, and then I came out to your office and I got to experience it firsthand. Crazy. Like you're literally walking down the street.
Yeah.
And then turn into your 3D printed house.
Put those goggles on, jump in a world that you're not even familiar with. Put some sound on. It's like you're gone. You could be stuck in there for hours. But as far as building a house goes, you can just completely walk into this house and see where you want to put certain colors on your walls, furniture, or where you want to build the actual walls. If you don't like this wall, move it. If you don't like how the kitchen layout is, change it around. And this can go to the next level of actually shopping for appliances. I mean, just decoration. You jump in this world and jump into potentially your dream home, the house of tomorrow. You can talk with contractors within this environment, I guess, and start to talk about budgeting and where the electric's going to go, solar panels, from soup to nuts. You could build a house in virtual reality, and then using augmented reality, we could show up to a job site and give you a perspective on how this house is going to lay out and give you just options right there to decide, no, I don't like this, I could change this. And if we check all these boxes with the building department, it's fine. You're completely custom. This is all possible.
Yeah, so just for people to understand, me as a builder, as a developer, it's slightly frustrating when I post all these pictures online of the house being built, and we're doing plumbing and electric, and those guys are real artists, and nobody really comments. Sheetrock, all this stuff, nobody comments. Then we put the kitchen in, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's beautiful." Nobody understands. It's hard for people to have the vision to realize it, and that's why it's harder to pre-sell homes typically, in my opinion. People can't visualize the finished product. But with virtual reality and the system that you guys have set up, I was sitting on my couch in my 3D printed house, and I was moving walls and changing colors and customizing my cabinets and increasing square footage and decreasing square footage. It is crazy. Like I see why people might not want to come back to reality when they're living in a VR world. Because anything you want is possible, but you can really experience your house built in real time. It's crazy.
We're heading towards a very science fiction, sci-fi kind of life, but it will become a reality soon. In 50 years, I don't see it being any different. I mean, if this pandemic is going to be a here to stay type thing, you can just talk, me and you could talk about building a house right now and jump into the world and look like idiots with goggles on our head, but we're being productive and we're going to design a house. I mean, this changes how architects work with the engineers and the buyers and the builders, and the relationships of home building can completely be changed. We can cut costs. We can make it cooler. There's going to be stuff we don't even know right now that we're trying to talk about that doesn't even compute to us right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's really exciting, cutting edge stuff. Let's talk about the future. Obviously, this you guys have been working really hard for the last 3 or 4 years. Just kind of had your coming out party, so to speak. What is the future? What are you guys looking down the road in the next 1, 3, 5, 10? Break it out for us.
Sure. 2021 is a couple projects. We're finishing this one off, getting someone living in it. We're going to do some stuff locally, Islandia, hopefully. And
it's done. It's in the books, dude. The mayor already put a sign on the lawn. He's ready to go.
All right. You know the housing industry. Once it's got to be signed, sealed, delivered, and we're there. But no, 2021 is very promising. Lots of good plans. Lots of working this out. Just we're still exercising the technology, but also planning for the future. Planning for even machine design changes to optimize our process, to make the machine more portable, to make this easier to operate. But what we really will excel in developments and communities of these houses where we can set up 1 machine, 2 machines, 5 machines all on a street and have them just printing houses across from each other. Your neighbor's house is getting printed right next to yours. They can all be cookie cutter homes, the new Levittown, or they can be completely custom houses based on that parcel. But we could really excel if we're just mass producing on site with multiple printers. Just deliver the material there. We're going to get it done. After 2021, I see a lot of good stuff, not only in New York, but just expanding to Florida, California, even just globally. Let's go to New Zealand. I don't care.
Yeah. What about
wherever?
What about superstructures? Different. Right now, you guys are only you're printing single fit, like one-story ranches, correct?
Correct. One-story residential homes right now, no basements just yet, but it's all possible. The machine can do this. It's the building codes, it's the practice, it's the experience, and we're still lacking data on some of the stuff. We're still lacking some seismic data, and we can run numbers in our computers and simulate this with some engineers, but you have to do it, and we have to show some practicality. We have to do a lot more testing, but the superstructures are coming. A machine that climbs the building as it prints, it's coming. It's all going to happen, and this can put us on another level with automation to print on Mars, to go intergalactic, to send a machine up, print a shelter, and then send the people up to live in that shelter. This is reality. It's coming.
I love it, man. I love you. I love watching it. I love everything you guys are doing. If people are interested in the product, if they have builds, if they have tracts of land, if they're interested in the technology, how do they get in touch with you guys? How do they, see what you're doing and keep up?
SQ40.com, our main site. There's a questionnaire, a form you could fill out if you're a home buyer, if you're a builder, if you're interested in investing. There are the right forms to get to the right avenues. We're being inundated with interest and inquiries right now. So we need maybe about a week to get back to you. But if anyone's interested in developing, in investing, just want to learn about the technology, go to our website, watch some videos, look at our news page that we've been written about by everybody else, try to make this understanding for the public. But come check us out, give us a call, send us an email.
Yeah, and I'm going to be posting a whole bunch of stuff when the build comes out, announcing the live stream so you guys can see in real time exactly, how these things come together and how it's printed. For everybody out there who doesn't have any hair or really appreciates a good head of hair, can you just give us the shake for a second? Just give me the shake. Bro, I love you.
What's going on, man? No baldness in my family.
I love you. I love you. Thank you for taking the time out. I really appreciate it. Obviously, if you have a house that smells like cat pee, land, anything, you know what I like. All over Long Island, the boroughs, I want to buy it. 51677 sold. And if you have permit problems or you think you're going to have a permit problem, everyone's going to have a permit problem. Save the captain's number, 516-513-8838. That is a wrap.